government. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
But I do ask every publisher, every editor, and every newsman in the nation to re-examine his own standards and to recognize the nature of our country's peril. In time of war, the government and the press have customarily joined in an effort based largely on self-discipline to prevent unauthorized disclosures to the enemy. In times of clear and present danger, the courts have held that even the privileged rights of the First Amendment must yield to the public's need for national security. Today, no war has been declared, and however fierce the struggle may be, it may never be declared in the traditional fashion. Our way of life is under attack. Those who make themselves our enemy are advancing around the globe. The survival of our friends is in danger, and yet no war has been declared. No borders have been crossed by marching troops. No missiles have been fired. If the press is awaiting a declaration of war before it imposes the self-discipline of combat conditions, then I can only say that no war ever posed a greater threat to our security. If you are awaiting a finding of clear and present danger, then I can only say that the danger has never been more clear, and its presence has never been more imminent.
It's time to recognize that we've come to a turning point. We're threatened with an economic calamity of tremendous proportions, and the old business-as-usual treatment can't save us. Together, we must chart a different course. We must increase productivity. That means making it possible for industry to modernize and make use of the technology which we ourselves invented. That means putting Americans back to work, and that means, above all, bringing government spending back within government revenues, which is the only way, together with increased productivity, that we can reduce and, yes, eliminate inflation.
The only thing that can stop this corrupt machine is you. The only force strong enough to save our country is us. The only people brave enough to vote out this corrupt establishment is you, the American people. I'm doing this for the people and for the movement, and we will take back this country for you, and we will make America great again.
Hello, welcome to Inform America. My name is Rich Merritt. Joining me today is Wylene Poliquin. Today is June 17th, 2020. And first, I want to just mention, check out the Boston Broadside newspaper. Pretty good paper, up-and-coming newspaper. Help them out. Secondly, go to the nationallibertyalliance.org and check them out also, but help them out. Get involved financially or with your time. But even if you don't do that, the educational opportunities on that website are phenomenal. For civics, government, due process. You can go on and on. Hours and hours, and you can take your time doing it. But your children will learn a lot, something that they'll never be taught anywhere else. Thirdly, I'll tout my book, Stand Your Ground. You can find it on Amazon. It's got a new cover, a different cover. Or you can purchase it through the email address on the screen here, and I'll autograph it for you and mail it out to you. So either one of those would do. Today's show is going to be basically part two of what we did last week. And last week we exposed, or highlighted, no exposure I guess, highlighted the Jewish Mafia. They work in conjunction with the Italian Mafia, the International Mafia. I mean, what's the difference? They're all criminals. But we highlighted, and I highlighted 9/11 more than anything. And I will say this, go to 9/11 False Flag by Ken O'Keefe and watch that video. It's a documentary he made, and it's phenomenal. There's a lot of resource material that he put in there to back up what he's saying. You can check it out for yourself and document it for yourself. If it doesn't get you angry, you're dead inside. That's the way I look at it, because it sure as hell got me angry, which is why I talk about it today. I want to follow up on it, and we're going to read some things here to support what we said last week, and there were some things that I missed. I apologize for, but we'll try to pick up on it today. So, Eileen, if you want to pick up on the part 2 on the...
Okay, part 2 of the Mafia.
Yes.
All right.
I don't know if... Go ahead.
3 police radio transmissions were spotlighted the day of 9/11. 3 men were dancing on top of a van parked on top of a parking garage. The men were laughing and dancing while filming the planes crashing into the towers. They were later identified as Mossad agents. A second van was stopped in New York City and found to have explosives in it. These were also Mossad agents. A third van was stopped in the city, and it had a mural of a plane crashing into a skyscraper. All of the men in these 3 instances were detained and then deported to Israel. All men were Israel Mossad agents. Shortly after 9/11, there were 200 Israeli Mossad agents who were arrested and detained and subsequently deported to Israel. The motto of the Israeli Mossad is, "By way of deception, thou shalt do war." Do we want to support a county that seeks out war among nations of the world?
Just let me interrupt. A couple of comments. I don't know if I spelt that wrong, but it was country. Do we want to support a country? I may have put county, though.
Oh, sorry.
I didn't double check. No, I didn't double check it, but I guess that's my question. Do we want to support a country that's very, very deceptive? By way of deception, thou shalt do war. And if you watch, I mean, this motto wasn't created last week. If you watch 9/11 from 19 years ago by Ken O'Keefe, False Flag, you'll find out how the deception part of it ties in to the Mossad with everything that's happened. And just to refresh your memory, how Frank Lowy and Larry Silverstein, after the buildings went down, because they owned them for 6.5 weeks. Yeah, I'll get closer to the mic. 6.5 weeks they owned those buildings. They collected over $5 billion in insurance money when they went down. $5 billion. Not bad for a 6-week investment, huh?
Right.
3,000 people killed, Americans killed. Nothing was ever done about it because Michael Chertoff was the director of Homeland Security. It goes on and on and on. Watch the video, 9/11 False Flag. If that doesn't get you mad, you're dead inside. There's no hope for you. I don't know what else to say. Check that out, though, and you'll see. And also, Wylene read it, but we have a tendency to forget things. Those were police radio transmissions about the vans. Now, the one on the 3 men on the van dancing, a woman called it in. She was overseeing the garage and the World Trade Centers, and she saw the guys, and she said, I don't understand why they're so happy and dancing, and they're filming this. Well, when the police arrived, they couldn't figure it out either, but the 3 guys says, oh, no, we're with you guys. They're laughing and they're filming this. Now, you got to ask yourself, why are they filming it? Did you have a camera? They're filming it because they knew it was going to happen. They had the camera already. Now, in a nice parking garage, they figured no one would see them, and they're all, watch the video. Believe me, watch the video. It's one video every American should see, especially right now, because the COVID-19 virus is being orchestrated in part by the Jewish Mafia. And I'll just say this. You had a guy die at the hands of a police officer in, was it Milwaukee? Is that where it was?
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Black Lives Matter. All lives matter.
All
lives matter. And if we don't care about lives, then we might as well just become barbarians. But the point I wanted to make with this is that Cops, the TV show Cops that's been on for 33 years and is a hit, yeah, well, the Jewish owners of the studios in Hollywood just canceled that last Wednesday. June 10th. Just canceled it. They're so concerned about lives that they canceled it after 33 years because a black man was killed. I got to tell you, that's BS. That they care. They don't give a damn. They don't give a damn. All they want to do is profile it and divide us now. It's white against black. It's cops are bad. And no, it's none of this garbage. Things happen in life with all of us. And it's got to stop with the killing. You know, I agree with that 100%. But I'm not so hard to jump on a bandwagon to abolish the police or to chastise them. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. Right. I'll get back on track, Wylene, if you want to pick up where you left off.
On 9/11/01, the former Israeli Prime Minister Edward Barak was interviewed by a BBC reporter and made a statement that travel would be more difficult in America from now on. How did the former Prime Minister know what was going to happen in America?
Now, the thing I wanted to point out to that is he was interviewed the day of 9/11. I said shortly thereafter, it was the day of, in England, the BBC reporter talked to him. How does the former Prime Minister of Israel know what is going to happen in America? Things are going to change. It'll be much tougher to get on an airplane. How does he know that? He's the former Prime Minister of Israel, not a former President of the United States. These are the things you got to ask yourself, unless you believe Richie Merritt's a conspiracy quack, which some people do. But if you've got the ability to critically think, you've got to ask yourself this. And there again, 9/11 false flag by Ken O'Keefe. The man did a phenomenal job. That particular former prime minister is on tape in that video, which is why there's just too much to show. I couldn't do it here. There's too much to show. Watch that video, 9/11 false flag by Ken O'Keefe.
Okay. It has been reported by several sources that George Schwartz, a.k.a. George Soros, is hiring young people to protest around the country. This is a source of the problem in the riots that have been occurring around the country. It is designed to bring on the NWO in America. George,
I just wanted to say, George Soros is he's been paying, I don't know what the hell, Occupy America, Black Lives Matter, I don't remember all the organizations, but he pays people like $500-600 a week to do this, and it's basically young people who are out of work. Someone gives you $500 or $600 out of the blue just to protest. You're going to stand there, and to you it's a party. You're a young person. You're with a lot of other young people. You think it's a party. Well, that's what Mr. Soros does. He's another billionaire who is a Jew. I'm saying that he's connected to the Jewish Mafia. If he isn't, then, wow, we're in tough shape in this country. But he's the one who's paying people to do his dirty work. He wants America to crumble so that these billionaires can control the planet.
Great. Next.
Yeah. Please.
George Soros, as a teenager, worked in the Nazi death camps in Germany. It has been reported that he, along with others, took over some of the property of those that were killed in those death camps. Who are some of the more notable figures who are pushing the NWO? George Soros, Mike Bloomberg, Rahm Emanuel, Bernie Sanders, IVT.
What is it?
It says Bernie Sanders,
Oh, no,
IVT.
I'm sorry, yeah. I started putting that down. He's an independent from Vermont.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right.
And I
wasn't sure.
apologize for that.
Okay, so that means independent from Vermont. Okay. So Chuck Schumer, which means Democrat from New York.
Right.
All right. And Dianne Feinstein, Democrat from New York. Other Jewish members of Congress. Michael Bennet, Democrat from Colorado. Stephen Cohen, Democrat from Tennessee. David Cicilline,
Yeah.
Democrat from Rhode Island. Richard Blumenthal, Democrat from Connecticut. Benjamin Cardin, Democrat from Maryland. Jackie Rosen, Democrat from Nevada. Brian Schatz, Democrat from Hawaii. Ron Wyden, Democrat from Oregon. Susan Davis, Democrat from California. Ted Douche, Democrat from Florida. Elliot Engel, Democrat from New York. Lois Frankel, Democrat from Florida. Josh Gottheimer, Democrat from New Jersey. David Kutzoff, Republican from Tennessee. Andy Levin, Democrat from Michigan. Mike Levin, Democrat from California. Alan Lowenthal, Democrat from California. Nita Lowey, Democrat from New York. Elaine Luria, Democrat from Virginia. Gerald Nadler, Democrat from New York. Dean Phillips, Democrat from Minnesota. Jamie Raskin, DMD.
Maryland.
Okay. Oh, no hyphen, sorry. Democrat from Maryland, sorry. Max Rose, Democrat from New York. Jan Schakowsky, Democrat from Illinois. Adam Schiff, Democrat from California. Kim Schreier, Democrat from Washington. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Democrat from Florida. Brad Sherman, Democrat from California. Brad S. Schneider, Democrat from Illinois. Alyssa Slotkin, Democrat from Michigan. Susan Wild, Democrat from Pennsylvania. John Yarmouth, Democrat from Kentucky. And Lee Zeldin, Democrat from New York.
A couple of comments on that thing now. This could be nothing. I just happened to pick up on the name Nita Lowey. Frank Lowy was one of the owners of the World Trade Center. He owned the concourse, 440,000 square feet of store space. I don't know if they're connected. I don't know if they're related or not related, and maybe it doesn't mean a damn thing. But the other thing I wanted to mention is that less than 2% of the population are Jews in America. 7% of the Congress is Jewish. And, in case you didn't hear it, with the exception of the guy over in Vermont, can't think of, Bernie Sanders. He's an independent. And the one in Tennessee is also a Republican. The other 34 are Democrats. Now, I usually don't pick on Democrats or Republicans because I've never been either one. I don't like either one, to be honest with you. I'm an American. But if the mainstream media lies to us and it's owned by the Jews, are the Jews lying to us? If Congress is not being honest with us and the influence they have over Congress is predominantly Democrat, you put the numbers together, because I'm not even making this. I'm saying that you have to look at this. Whether you believe it or you disbelieve it, you have to look at it.
Fact is
fact. Those are all Democrats except for two people. And
fact is fact.
Right. I didn't make it up. Do you know Dianne Feinstein? She's a piece of garbage. Bernie Sanders is a piece of garbage, okay? They're communists. Demi Wasserman Schultz, I watched her on a video threaten the Washington Police Department. Threaten them because they had information on computers that incriminated her. So she threatened them with their job. And it goes on and on and on. I don't even want to get into the whole thing because I'm just trying to draw attention to this. You look into it and you find out. Here's something else I wanted to tell you about. It's called America, Freedom to Fascism by Aaron Russo. Watch that video, and in there is a IRS commissioner who volunteers to be interviewed by Aaron. That IRS commissioner's name was Cohen, a Jewish gentleman. He lied more than once on that video. Go watch it for yourself. Now, why is the man lying about you paying taxes? You don't have to pay taxes on your time and your labor. The courts have upheld that, the Supreme Court's decision, time and time again. Yet this guy lies in front of it. He's on camera lying. And you can see it for yourself. Don't believe me. These are the things I'm trying to point out because the Jewish Mafia has a very prominent stance in this country. If they own the media, they own Hollywood, which they do. I hope we demonstrated that last week with all the names we put up there.
Right.
Maybe not. I don't know. Take a look for yourself and disprove what I said. Please look at it, though. That's all I'm asking. Now, I don't know. Did we finish up on that particular thing?
On that one, yep.
All right, the second page that we have is simply, and I don't know if you want to read them real quick, you can. It's the 15 richest men in America, or people in America.
Okay. According to Forbes, 2019. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Ellison, Larry Page. Is that Sergey or Sergey?
Sergey, I believe.
Sergey Brin, Michael Bloomberg, Steve Ballmer, Jim Walton, Alice Walton, Rob Walton, Charles Koch.
I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Yeah.
Julia Koch, however you pronounce it, and Mackenzie Bezos.
The only thing I wanted to point out here is these names came up on the computer. I didn't go searching for them and just, nitpick them. Those are the 15 names. And I don't know why George Soros isn't in it, although he might not be an American. That could be it. One of the things I wanted to point out, some of it I know and some of it I'm guessing. The Waltons own Walmart. Walmart was open to this coronavirus scare, this COVID-19 BS. Okay, this mass killer that takes out the elderly and leaves everybody else alone. That virus refuses to exist in Walmart because they stayed open. I'm also suggesting to you, why is it that did Bloomberg News and other organizations that he owned, were they affected by it? Bill Gates, was he affected by it? Any of these people that we mentioned, 14, I don't know what Bill Gates is, but the rest of them are all Jewish, 14 of the 15. The reason I'm mentioning this is, and by the way, I've said it before, and I'm not talking about all Jews being bad, there's good and bad in everything. But one of the things you have to understand is that the Jewish Mafia's, the top rung is the Rothschilds. They are Jewish. Their name used to be Bauer. Back in the 1600s, it was changed in the early 1700s. They control all the banking on this planet. All of it. If you don't think that they say to these people, these 15 people, we'll sponsor this, we'll give it to you. They did the same thing with J.P. Morgan. When he died, they found out 17% of his holdings belonged to him. The rest everybody else owned, including the Rothschilds. My point is simply this. If they own the media, how come legally we want to find out something? Where do they go if they want information? Do they go to Harvard? Who's the Harvard law professor that they go to? Do you know his name?
Oh, God, no.
I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm drawing a blank myself.
No, I am too. Yeah, I have no clue.
Anyway, I'm sure you know who I mean, and I apologize for forgetting the name. It'll come to me in a minute or two, but
Yeah, that's something I absolutely don't know.
right. They go to this.
Yeah.
Look up PNAC, PNAC. It's called the Project for a New American Century. It's riddled with Jewish people. Did you know that there was a project for a new America? I know nothing about it. The Jews certainly seem to have a handle on it, though. Go read it. Don't take my word for it. And don't call me a conspiracy nut. Go read it. There's people on the Council of Foreign Relations, the World Bank, the IMF, Congress, all over they're all over the place. Media, all of them, these executives, okay? They control the Jewish Mafia. Believe me, the Italian Mafia got nothing on these people. The Jewish Mafia owns just about everything. And they control everything, which is why all this is being stirred up. COVID-19, okay, which is BS. I'm sure people are figuring that out. I hope they are, anyway. It's BS, all right? The scare on, if you watch 9/11 False Flag, you'll find out that the terrorists weren't terrorists at all. There were people working in your government. Or, I don't know what you want to call them, associates? I don't know. Whatever. The Israelis, okay, the Mossad, they were in on it. They were involved with it. I think they rigged the explosives myself, but that's just my opinion. Check it out and look at it. Look at America, Freedom to Fascism with Aaron Russo. Watch Mr. Cohen lie to you, or to Aaron Russo, about paying taxes. Watch him. Don't dismiss it. This is about you, not me, you. And then watch 9/11 False Flag with Ken O'Keefe. And I'm telling you, you're going to be blown away with the facts that are in there. And you're not going to look at your government the same anymore. The other thing I wanted to mention briefly, and you can jump in if you want, Wylene, on this. I heard that Governor Sununu wants to, I don't know what you want to call it, for lack of a better word, retrain the police in New Hampshire because of this thing that happened with Mr. Floyd. And I want to say something to Mr. Sununu. You're welcome to come on the show, Chris, but you don't have a clue what the law is. You're as dumb as a box of rocks when it comes to the law, and I'm challenging you, before you send the police to learn the law, you learn it.
Yeah, amen.
Now, I went to your office with some paperwork because the law was being violated against the people. You handed it off to John Famella, the legal counsel, who did nothing. And then there was a whole slew of things that took place afterwards. It's your job to enforce the laws, Article 41, the state constitution, but you're reluctant to do that because you don't know the law. So your lawyer, John Famella or the Attorney General, whoever's doing it, will tell you, hey, yeah, you can do this. You can shut down businesses. And I'm telling you, bovine scat, you can't. There is no provision in law that allows you to do it, but you did it. You harmed a great deal of people because you're either part of the organized crime in this country that's doing it, or you're a useful idiot. I don't know which one, because no one can be that dumb. No one can be. And I don't, come on the show. Refute what I'm saying. There's no provision in law for you to do what you did.
Isn't what happened called treason?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. So can't we fight
All
back?
50 governors, because they were in lockstep, and I even actually heard Governor Sununu say, well, I talk to different governors every day.
1 minute.
You shouldn't be talking to different governors. Governors aren't experts in viruses. You should be talking to the experts with the virus to find out what you should be doing. And maybe a lot of elderly people would be alive today instead of you playing games. And that's me telling you, you're playing games and you don't have a clue what the law says.
Right.
Don't try to teach the police when you don't know what's going on.
Right.
Anyway, and you're welcome to come on the show. Bring your lawyer with you. Bring John Famella or the Attorney General. Both of them.
Right.
I don't think you're going to show because there is no law. Anyway, Wylene, thank you very much for being on the show.
Oh, my pleasure, Richie. Anytime.
Thank you for listening. I get a little bit animated, but I'm also aggravated because the criminal empire is trying to destroy this country, and they're swaying all of us. Thank you for watching the show. Please check out the information that I said. You will be very, very surprised. It's all true. It's all true. Share it, subscribe to our channel, and thank you very much for watching. Have a nice day.